Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Warhammer 40k, Rogue Trader. As today, man, we've been through the ringer lately. I'd like to say we won, but, given the damage that Adalbert likely did to the ship's morale, it might be a bit of a wash. But, we were technically victorious. We are closing in on the end of Act 2, and we do have a bit of a lull in the action, so what better time to take a moment to ourselves, to sit back, relax, and recenter ourselves for the rest of our Act 2 do list. And perhaps it's just the echo of Adalbert talking, but it does feel a bit awkward to enjoy all this luxury by ourselves. So let's get someone else in here, shall we? Master of Ablutions, could you please send for one of my companions? Of course. Which of them would you like me to summon, your lordship? You know what, let's get my man Abby in here. I'm sure that won't be at all awkward. At once. Abelard claps his hands together in business-like manner, and there's an ominous glint in his unaugmented eye. Lord Captain, what a fortunate rarity to find you at leisure. Since you have nothing else to occupy your time, I will give you a lecture on the history of House von Valancius. I would not be doing my duty if I did not start from the beginning. Wait, I invited you to my bath chambers, and your first thought was to deliver a lecture? You are the new head of this dynasty. It is unacceptable for a rogue trader to be ignorant of their origins. Yeah, I get that, but you could just put together a report or recommend some reading material. I could study it in my downtime. I'm afraid you will not have much time to spare from your duties. Lady Theodora made a similar promise, and I made the mistake of believing her. We never had the chance to speak on the matter again. We should make the most of this opportunity. Okay, don't do that. Don't try to guilt me into this, buddy. Abby, I'll have you know, I've got a small planet's worth of cyberware packed away in my brain. I've actually got the entire history of our dynasty right at my digital fingertips. I sincerely doubt that there's anything you could tell me that I don't already know. Indeed. Well, in that case, it should not be difficult for you to name the dynasty's founder. Abelard is naive to think that you could fall into this trap. The name of the dynasty's founder has been forgotten over the millennia of its history, as if you could be stumped by something so trivial. No offense, Abby, but it sounds like you're the one who could use a bit of a brush-up. Everyone knows the name of the original founder has been lost to the mists of time. Though I suppose I could tell you everything else we know about that era. Abelard's brow rises sharply. I am exceedingly curious, Lord Captain. Please, do tell. Your lecture goes on for hours. You make sure not to omit even the most insignificant details, complementing your educational talk with fascinating historical anecdotes, an extensive analysis of your family tree, and precise descriptions of daily lives on the worlds of your ancestors. By the end of it all, you notice Abelard beginning to doze off. And that, of course, is the origin of the incredible bipedal, vertically inverted, motivational, and levitational flying rogue trader. Sometimes life really is stranger than fiction. Abby, you still with me? Sensing a pause in the lecture, Abelard shakes himself awake. Oh, I beg your pardon, your lordship. I was lost in thought. Thoroughly captivating subject, yes? Well, I see that you are indeed remarkably versed in history, and therefore my presence is not required at the moment. He hurriedly backs his way toward the exit. Ha! You coward. Oh, Abby. I hate to see you leave, but I love to see you walk away. Well, that was fun. A nice refreshing bath, a chance to lecture someone ad nauseum. A shame Abby never actually joined us in the bath, but, you know, at least he kept us company. That said, thusly refreshed and reinvigorated. Let's get back to the tasks at hand. The Coronis awaits. Though, before we pop our heads back out, we do have some quick business to tend to on the ship. Danrock, I've come to bargain. Yeah, sadly, while we did get a few extra stacks from that last encounter, it wasn't enough to actually bump us up with any of the main 4 factions. We did, however, get enough scrap from that pirate encounter to bump us up 1 rank with Imperial Navy, which nets us a Saturnine Pattern Class 5 engine, an easy upgrade, and a new Wrath Starfighter's fighter deck, which, you know, again, sadly, we will not be using, since, as aforementioned, I just much prefer the standard torpedoes. Let's go ahead and get those new engines equipped. There's zero reason not to. Which also leaves us with at least 1 engine we can now turn in for rep. Though we'll hold on to the Jovian for now. Not sure we'll ever actually use it, but it is technically better in some regards, so we'll hold on to it just in case. And now, since we're already on deck, first we pet Cece. Hey, pretty girl. How you doing? Such a cutie. And now let's go check in with our new confessor. Though I do suspect, given that there are like 3 or 4 different Whoa, what's this? Hi. The promenade has a dedicated rest area. Huh. The velvet cushions on the bench seats look soft and comfortable. Oh, you know what? I bet that... I bet that's a new addition from our Iconoclast makeover. Yeah, providing comfortable seating for the crew does feel like an Iconoclast thing. I like that. That's fun. Might have to do a pass on the bridge later to see if they added anything else. But yeah, we're gonna go chat up Confessor Zerman real quick. Just do a quick meet and greet, so to speak. But as aforementioned, I have every expectation he's just a generic NPC. You know, maybe even just floating text. I can't imagine they put too much effort into him, considering it's one of like 4 variable different confessors you can end up recruiting. And we'll check up on Initiate Clotus while we're here. Nice chrome. I approve. A morbidly thin and heavily augmented Voidborn makes the sign of the Aquila the moment he sees you. Your lordship, I pray to the Emperor for you every day. His voice is unexpectedly energetic and loud. It is hard to believe that such a puny body could produce such a vigorous sound. And you must be Zerman, our new confessor, right? Replacing our poor addled Bert. That I am, your lordship. They call me Confessor Zerman now. I used to be in the Master Helmsman employ, and he kept saying how much my zeal was getting on his nerves. But he swore worse than usual when I was appointed confessor, so I guess he did appreciate me after all. Yeah, I wouldn't take it personally, that's just kind of how he is. Even with me. So tell me, Zerman, how goes the sermon? It's all new to me, but people are always stopping by for prayer and counsel, and the shrine confessional is packed to the brim. I just haven't had any time to take everything in. But I know everyone and have spoken on spiritual matters with many crewmen. I guess they've accepted me in ordination faster than I've accepted myself. Well, that sounds like a good thing to me. Indeed. Not every preacher can understand the Voidsmen, you see. Our lives are different from those dwelling on planets. Our way of life is alien and strange. Sometimes we even speak a different language. People feel relieved when it's one of their own who talks to them about the God Emperor. I see. Well, I'm not going to lie, Zerman. I was really kind of hoping we'd pull in a tech priest for this, but I suppose a Voidsman works just as well. As long as you're uniquely suited to cater to the crew's particular needs, that's good enough for me. You have any grand plans, any big new moves to help shake things up and set yourself apart from your impious predecessor? I want to infuse my home vessel with faith, so that people may feel the presence of the God Emperor wherever they go. This will make them feel at ease, and the work will be done with greater effort. I've already indicated where best to place automatic chapels on the decks, and where to install voxcasters for liturgical sermons. He produces a data slate showing a map of the ship, then points at the marks excitedly. Well, that certainly sounds good to me. You have my approval, Zerman. Keep up the good work. I'll leave you to it. Huh. You know, I've got to say, I am actually impressed that they gave him a full, if shallow, dialogue trait. They really didn't have to go to that kind of effort, but I respect that they did. That does actually make me curious as to what the others might have had to say. The other assorted options, the death cultist, the heretic, the dogmatic. I might explore that in my downtime just to see. Displays seem the same. What about Clotis? Oh, hold on. Medicae Officer Marius? Who are you? And look at that. Clotis, buddy. Glad to see you made it. Thank you kindly for your assistance, your lordship. No, thank you, Clotis, for not trying to murder me. And for staying alive. Staying alive. Now let's see what's going on with this guy over here. Medicae Officer Marius. A young man is praying beside the reliquary. His hair is disheveled and his sweat-stained uniform is crumpled. Dark circles have formed underneath his eyes. As you approach, he jumps up from his knees and makes the sign of the Aquila with a jerky motion. Lord Captain, you're here. I believed, nay, I knew you would come. Inappropriate and very presumptuous. The young man takes an almost ludicrously deep breath and says solemnly, I am Marius Clement Sorn Kablau, Medicae Officer. I have had a vision. My great-great-grandfather appeared before me and bid me seek your blessing to become a missionary. Please grant me your gracious leave to embark on my journey. He freezes and stares at you without blinking. Marius, you okay, buddy? His bloodshot eyes, slightly twitching fingers, and nervous agitation point to chronic sleep deprivation, or the grueling strain of too much work. His colors burn brightly and feverishly, his zealous gold ready to consume all other hues. A beautiful sight, if somewhat frightening. At ease, soldier. Marius, right? Look, it doesn't take a genius to recognize you're deep into sleep depth. Trust me, I should know. I've been there myself. When was the last time you got some rest? I require neither rest nor sleep. I feel energized and alive like never before. I'm overflowing with faith. Okay, well, I mean, if you say so. Why don't you tell me about this vision of yours? What's got you so lit up? The officer raises his eyes to the ceiling and recollects with rapt abandon. First, I noticed a faint light out of the corner of my eye, but thought it was a surgical lumen someone had turned on. The light grew brighter, and when I turned toward it, it shone right through me. I saw my muscles, organs, and bones under my skin. I was bared, body and soul, as if I was standing by the throne itself. An ancestor of mine stepped out of that most pure light. Marius pauses, his voice faltering. And he said, "My child, your destiny is to bring faith to distant worlds. Seek the rogue trader's blessing and set out on your journey." The words didn't seem to be coming from his mouth, but from every direction at once. And other strong and pure voices echoed them, and... For a moment, Marius looks like he's about to faint, but he finishes his speech in a tone that is almost serene. It was a miracle. The ray of his soul is so thin and pure, so fragile, a rare glow in the guts of an iron ship. Well, if Yearly Ed is praising someone, you know something's wrong. Marius, you seem to hold your great-great-grandfather in particularly high regard. I imagine there's a story there? He had the honor of helping an ancestor of yours capture this relic. Marius points piously towards the empty reliquary case that you cleared out several months ago. In that grueling fight, he not only treated the wounded soldiers, but shed blood for the cause himself. Well, I certainly appreciate his past service. I can't say that I'm convinced you're not just having some sort of mental breakdown here, but I'll tell you what, why don't you try to convince me? Perhaps I can be swayed. Or at least denim. Your words leave the officer awestruck. He freezes in place, waiting. Oh, gosh. Should we trust Kibbles with this? I mean, man, I really wish they gave us more details here, because that could be anything from a full-on proper tarot reading to just Kibble-style stabbery. We'll maybe go with the safer bet here. Marius, I respect your desire to spread the word of the Emperor, but you realize that this ship is large enough and has enough people that you could do that right here. Given recent events, we have plenty of decks that are in need of missionaries or confessors. Is serving such a grand purpose somehow not enough? The Medicae officer looks away, struggling to comprehend what he has just heard. A deep furrow appears on his brow, a rare occurrence in someone of his age. You are right. There's a lot I could do for my home ship, but I can't just turn my back on the signs I was given and make do with a compromise. The Emperor commands that I dedicate every part of me to his faith. So that's how it must be. Oh, we can also choose dogmatic, okay. You say that, and yet, to some, this might appear to be an overworked officer trying to find excuses not to continue serving one of the Emperor's chosen. You do realize that if I were any other rogue trader, I would be fully within my rights to see you punished for trying to desert your post, right? Not saying that I'll do that, of course, but, it would be within my rights. Your stern tone frightens Marius. I am a loyal son of the Imperium and have, until now, never entertained the idea of abandoning my duties on this ship. But what if mine is a different calling? How could I ignore a message from him? You know what, Marius, maybe you're right. And if that is indeed the case, I think I know just the person to verify that. Kibbles, please try to make it non-fatal. Camilla approaches the officer without making a sound. Death is the faithful companion of those who sow the seeds of faith amid the stars. Though it has 1,000 faces, I will show you but one. The one you fear most. The one you have seen in your nightmares. Marius wrings his hands. Your lordship, I have turned my inner eye to things I've never reflected on before. I think you're right. I'm not ready to be a missionary. He smiles a tired smile. A vision brought me to you, and you have shown me the truth. Correcting the flaws in my faith is what I must turn my efforts toward. Wow, okay, well, thank you, Kibbles. That was surprisingly effective and non-violent. I very much appreciate that. Oh, wow, and look at that. Now I'm extra glad we came in here. Our faith-to-faith with Zerman and Marius here was enough to push us over the edge. We've topped out our Tier 2 archetypes. Exemplar is but a stone's throw away. It's a wonder what some proper downtime can do. A lesson that Marius would do well to learn. Honestly, that does kind of make me wonder if there are other new encounters waiting in the various compartments. I'm not going to check that now, since it is a bit of a time sink, but I'll give that a peek between episodes. But for now, we have other things on the itinerary. Plus a level up in the queue, which, as I recall, should be a fairly straightforward one. I think this is just our second alt ability modifier for an alt that we, generally speaking, basically never use, so no big deal. Except for possibly Kibbles. As I recall, hers isn't half bad, though I think we've only ever used it once. Yeah, let's go ahead and knock that out real quick. No reason not to. Yes, and it is indeed our second Tier 2 special ability modifier. Again, not really fussed about this, so we'll just grab whatever feels right. For Valen, he's our damage dealer, so we'll go ahead and grab the one that boosts damage. Seems straightforward enough. For Kibbles, I think I do actually have one in mind, because it was a bit of a toss-up last time. Between the first one and number 3, the one that automatically slapped additional DOTs on all enemies in combat. Yeah, that one's not bad. It's pretty decent for her DOT build. For Abby, we'll grab the one that best fits his whole taunting tank shtick. For Cassie and Pask, I legitimately don't care. I've never used Take and Hold, and I don't see myself doing it anytime soon. So we'll just grab the defense bonus, why not? And Earliette. Once again, we'll go with the damage boost. Triple damage on an auto crit is pretty decent. And there we go. Level up set. And Exemplar ahoy. We might actually bank our first level or two of Exemplar before we even hit Act 3. Kind of bonkers that we're just barely halfway through the game and already into the final archetype. Though, obviously, it will still be quite some time before we actually cap out, so lots to look forward to. Speaking of which, let's get back on the move. We've got a direct shot at the Forgotten Twins, which is our next primary destination. But we also have reason to visit other sectors as we travel. We'll take a more circuitous route. We'll check sectors in passing. So, Nameless Tsar? uneventful trip. Let's get a peek. And no, sector clear. Nothing new, not even in the ancient bunker. So we push on. Forgotten Twins. Oh. Lord Captain, your plan was a success. Our provocation against Nemesis and the killing of the traitor Adalbert has brought out all the rest of them. My enforcers have captured a number of suspicious individuals and beaten the truth out of them. That scum Nemesis wishes to avenge his mentor's death and plans to raid the ceremony of the officer's anointment. Wow, okay, so we are getting at least some closure on the Nemesis thing in Act 2, my goodness. I honestly am starting to wonder just how much they're really going to leave us for this particular plot thread in the latter half of the game, because it feels like everything's firing now. Since the impious Adalbert had turned out to be an apostate, it is the new confessor's duty to ensure that the officers retake their oath to the God Emperor. Traditionally, the ceremony is attended by officers' families, and it is they who are the target of the mutineer. He wishes to slaughter all of the ship's elite in one fell swoop. I have ordered a trap to be set for Nemesis. Would you like to be personally involved in the operation? Well, that really depends. Jocasta, what exactly did you have in mind? We will replace the civilians with enforcers and their relatives of the appropriate age, dress them all in their formal clothes, and hide their weapons underneath. When Nemesis tries to strike, he will find only cruel disappointment. For the last time in his worthless life. Hold up, did I just hear that right? Your plan is to have non-combatants in the middle of the operation zone? It is necessary for the sake of secrecy. Let me assure you, all of my people will gladly risk their families for the good of the von Valancius dynasty, without fear or hesitation. Okay, well, cool, I guess that's reassuring to hear, though I'm also thinking, maybe they really shouldn't have to, but since it appears I can't actually object to that. Yeah, by all means, I will be in attendance. It would seem strange if I weren't. You hear a burst of interference, followed by Cabela joining the channel. Damen Valen, the whispers of death are uttering the name of Nemesis ever more loudly. I must meet the enemy face to face. Of course, by all means, Kibbles, you are, after all, my shadow. We'll see this through together. So be it. Cabela's voice is quiet, yet somehow even more grim and ominous than usual. And we are right into it. Wow. So place your bets. Who's the Nemesis? I don't think it's going to be Einrich. I think it's too early for that. Obviously not Forius. So, I guess, based on the people we have left. The Vat Foreman, the Flute Player, Enforcer Frenzo. We have a scant few options, all of whom would make some degree of sense. Also, please don't die, Zerman. I literally just met you. The rows of disguised enforcers are listening to the confessor's words in silence. All around you are Sourback's chosen people, each dressed as a member of the officers' families. Close by, a kindly-looking old woman is fumbling with a starched handkerchief. Catching her eye, she smiles with a mouth that is missing half its teeth. Then whispers, "Everything is going as planned, your lordship." You look around. The facade is holding, with everyone playing their role perfectly. The Master-at-Arms must have instructed them thoroughly and shown them how to best conceal their weapons. All of them are wearing their best, and even you cannot tell where they are hiding their armaments. So I see. And who might you be, Miss? Belinda Trafgold, Lord Captain. Transferred from the Enforcers with the rank of Senior Lieutenant to the staff of your Lordship's quarters on account of my age and declining health. But as you can see, there's no such thing as a former Enforcer. A friendly smile stretches across her bloodless lips. Well, I assume despite your advanced age, you must have considerable experience. Why else would Jocasta trust you with such an important task? I guess the Master-at-Arms remembers how Belinda used to be the best shot amongst the Enforcers back in the day, and knows that my eye and hand have not diminished over the years. I spent 40 years on duty, and to this day I can tell if a man is carrying contraband in his pockets, just by the way he is walking. I am grateful to Mistress Sourback for the honor. I don't want to die in my bed. Let me fall in battle, defending the Lord Captain and crushing traitors. Belinda gives an imperious yet absent-minded nod, and dabs her eyes with a handkerchief. Sure, naturally. I think we've all been there. Oh, man. I really do kind of want to ask her for a story, but A, that feels rude the way that's phrased. And also B, we're in the middle of trying to ambush a very deadly criminal, so I guess we shouldn't. So tell me, Miss Trafgold, you think this plan of Sourback's will actually work? Judging by the way that serf in the back row keeps glancing around, our Nemesis has swallowed the bait, just like the void rat he is. The porridge will hit the fan any moment now. A most benign smile crosses her face. The ceremony comes to an end. The vows are given, and the forehead of every officer is graced by the touch of the confessor. Now comes the moment for the closing prayer. And may the God Emperor protect us. A loud and menacing voice booms through the hall, cutting short the sacred words. But not today.
You cannot stop the angels faithful! Defensive positions! Do not let a single one break through!
I'll make an example out of you!
Wow, just a bang-up job on securing the area, Sourback. Another plan gone off without a hitch. Alright, so we've got a whole bunch on our flank. And then the Nemesis himself up on the altar. And man, look at this guy. That is cool. Keller J. Morph. Who, of course, has a crazy hodgepodge mix of non-rounded attribute numbers. Just to drive me crazy. Plus the promise of freedom. Chance to cause fatigue on every hit. Noted. Oh, wow, okay. Apparently they've concealed his many abilities. That's new. Did they just start doing that? We have not seen that before. Which I actually appreciate because, you know, while I do... I always kind of wrestle with the concept of being able to just see what an enemy can do mid-battle. You know, it's a tactical advantage that it feels like you haven't really earned... Oh, okay. Right. Right. So it might be unique to just the cultists. But still, I do appreciate it. We've also got Rot in attendance. Who? Yeah, he's definitely sporting a robot arm there. That's fun. Though it's hard to tell with the other side. I mean, I guess technically he only lost that hand. So a prosthetic hand would be a lot harder to notice. Okay, well, let's get this done. Keller? Thankfully, we do have ample cover, which we will use to full advantage. First goal is going to be clearing our flank, getting rid of all these mooks. And to that end, we will slat past here. He'll come in from the right. We'll get Abby right up front and center, right in their face. We'll get Cabela set up a little behind him. Actually, let's get Patsk even closer. He's going first, so there's no reason to hang back. We need Cass within eyeshot of Abby. And then snipers in back. Preferably with both cover and full views of the battlefield, but also close enough to each other that we can get them both in the same damage zone. Patsk up first. Let's get some support going. Block these guys off, prevent them from circling around us. Yeah, that's good. We'll set up shop here. Cass is up next, so she'll pull everyone out towards Abby. And set zones. Okay. Cass. Let's get Abby set. Pull everyone in. Get them all focused on him. We're gonna have one straggler on right.
Tell me what you've got.
Nice, nice. And lock him down. Hold.
Only the faithful will ascend. The true believers will inherit.
Moving out.
Nice. Yeah, I don't really see this guy posing much of a threat. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that just yet. We don't actually know what his abilities are.
Let's make it quick.
They wouldn't hide them without good reason. Let's start trimming. Snipers first. Haven't really built up momentum yet. Oh, come on. Dang it, I should have surefire planned that. Oh well, that's fine. That's an easy cap for Yurliat. A guaranteed bounty. Yeah, so let's trim the sniper. That's 3 bonus AP. Now, let's say Keller. No, Yurliet, why? We done got XCOM'd. Alright, well.
Here we go.
We'll just make do.
Let's get to it.
I mean, let's be honest, it's probably going to be Kibbles who kills him. Which is poetic. It does feel thematically and narratively appropriate. Though first, let's get her some closure on Rot. I'll go ahead and clear him out, plus as many of these random mooks as we can. Nice tippy tap, keep it going. Oh, or not. Okay. Really thought we'd have a second jump, but I guess you can dance if you want to. That man exploded. Yurliet with a bonus action, slap a trap. Re-tag Keller. And back to Cabela, who does have more charges of jump now. So I guess we'll keep it going. We've only got 2 with DOTs. No point in where it hurts. So resonate. Yeah, I'd say that resin's been pretty aided. Once again, keep it going. Down the chain. Another jump banked. Keep it going. And fall back.
Brings me no pleasure.
Liar. Oh, shoot, that's not where I thought you'd stop. Oh, right, because Yurliet interrupted her turn. Okay, gotcha. Yes, that is something we'll have to keep in mind moving forward. That's the big thing that always gets me with this game, is the unexpected interactions between all these complex and colorful abilities. You never know exactly how things are going to work until you start trying different combinations, you know? Anyway, that's pretty much it for the minions, so let's lock the big guy down. Put him down like old Keller.
At your beck and call.
Man, that book was a bummer. I wonder if they still make kids read that. I feel like it would be pretty dated at this point. Like back when I was in school, I very distinctly recall they had us read Old Yeller, they had us read To Kill a Mockingbird, they had us read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Huckleberry Finn, Starship Troopers. I feel like some of those probably haven't aged super well, so it's kind of hard to imagine they're still part of the modern educational itinerary. At least, you know, pre-high school. Sorry, yeah, I guess I should have clarified. Those are all books I recall being assigned reading as a preteen, which, in retrospect, really kind of feels wild. Ooh, Lord of the Flies, too. That was one of them. Animal House? No, sorry, Animal Farm. Animal House is very different. Also, I remember we read the original Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and then watched the movie, and had to write a paper comparing them. For those who don't know, the original book that movie was based on is called Who Censored Roger Rabbit, and it is very much darker. Like, a lot of people die. And Judge Doom was not the villain. He was introduced in the movie as the villain because, well, I don't want to spoil it, I guess, if you want to go read it, but it's a trip. Also, again, bonkers in retrospect that they had a preteen or young teen actually read that and write a paper on it, considering the themes. But I suppose, on the other hand, that is a big part of what turned me into the weirdo I am today. So, hey. I guess it all worked out? Question mark?
Here's my perfect moment.
Let's wrap this up. I think we're pretty much done here. To arms, faithful souls! Their tyranny ends today! Okay, well, I guess we are not almost done, though I'm not too worried.
We bring deliverance.
Onward!
Okay, now I am slightly more worried.
Follow my
Is that a wound on Gurliat?
duty.
They changed the UI for combat effects. Alright, let's pin these guys down. Slowed or stunned, that should keep them off our back line.
I'll make it happen.
Number 2, slowed, not stunned. And number 1 stunned. Nice. So yeah, that should hopefully buy us enough time to move a melee fighter to block. Likely Pask, since he's right there. Slap a trap. This one's only slowed.
If it serves your cause.
And focus down. Actually. Oh, sorry. They're fine. Oh, weird. Oh, maybe because you still have allies?
This tedium is beneath me.
So how about now? No, still 0%. Weird. Or perhaps we'll just have Kibbles do her thing. Yeah, if she drops him, then Yurliet gets a free turn anyway, so she can reset within my sights.
I shall not fail.
I certainly hope not. Nice. Okay, he is not immune to damage. I was a little worried he had some full-on plot armor going, but apparently not. And thus, it ends.
The other side awaits.
Though I suppose we still have some mop-up to do. Can't imagine that'll be all that tough. Had these guys actually showed up earlier, that might have actually complicated things, but But by the time they did roll in, we had already very clearly gotten the upper hand. They are tanky, though. And to Keller's credit, he did actually end up wounding Yurliet. I mean, it's not much, but it's something. He injured the frailest member of our retinue.
Strengthens me.
So, you know, not exactly something to slap on your resume, but more than most baddies manage.
Activate calculated fury algorithm. The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all.
Emperor, give me strength.
I must not falter. Follow my lead.
One out. And number 2 stunned. Yeah, it's over. Poor Nemesite.
If it serves your cause.
Guy thought he was a cold stone Keller, but turns out he was barely even soft serve. But you know, curb stomp aside, I will say I have very much enjoyed this fight. I do feel like the DLC fights, generally speaking, have been pretty well constructed. They at least mix things up, try to keep you on your toes. It's a nice break in the standard combat formula.
It will be done.
Helps keep things fresh. Though this, of course, is just basic cleanup.
Follow my lead. Break them around.
Also, I'm glad to see we actually kept Tropgold alive. I'm assuming that's who that is over there anyway. The one enforcer with white hair. Though I suppose, given what she told us, actually surviving this fight isn't exactly what she was hoping for. Apologies for that, I guess. I'm sure we'll find plenty more opportunities for you to meet a glorious end. I mean, we are only just halfway through this thing.
Running binaric override.
Here, Liet, you want to maybe finish this up for us?
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
No, no trap. Just double tap.
I understand your intent.
And pull. And thus falls the Nemesite. Or does he? Well, you'll find out next time. Because we're already pushing the hour mark, and this felt like a good place to cut it. Sorry, not sorry. Those hour-plus episodes kill me in editing. That said, we'll hit the pause button for now, so cast your votes. Who will the dread Nemesite turn out to be? Or, you know, just go play it yourself. I guess a lot of you have probably already done that. But I'm just going to pretend you didn't. So tune in next time for the Keller reveal. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
You cannot stop the angels, faithful!